Yeah, I thought, Maddie played lights out. I thought, like, serving, returning, hitting the ball so clean. I mean, she was painting the back of the line. I mean, there really wasn't that much I honestly could have done. I don't think I played my best, but at the same time, she never really gave me a chance much to get back in it. And every time I felt like maybe there was a window, just wasn't happening. So I think it was a combination of things. But honestly, I mean, we all know how she can play, and she's still, a huge threat when she can play like that.
All right, thank you very much. Name and affiliation, please. Andrew.
Thanks, Gary. Andrew Jones, ESPN and Skate. First, just congrats on the doubles win.
Thank you.
And you're still live in mixed doubles and doubles. Just when you play Maddie, but particularly with the roof being closed today, was that just something where you thought the conditions right there even allowed that extra step for her with how she can get so on fire the way she does sometimes?
For sure. I thought that roof being closed, even though I know she kind of likes maybe a little quicker as well, it gives her so much time to set up, especially with her forehand and with her big serve. She can hit through the conditions. And to me, with the roof closed, I don't know, that's something, honestly, the last year or two I've really struggled with. When it's a slow hard court and the roof is closed, the ball doesn't go anywhere for me. And I think I have to really over exaggerate being aggressive. And that wasn't something I was able to do today, or, she wasn't really letting me do as well. But I think it gave her a lot of time to really set up and go for her shots. And, she started making them right away. And I feel like she's definitely a confidence player. So when she kind of got on a roll, like, she was able to keep it going. But to me, I think it favored her just with her heavy ground strokes and serve.
That depth of shot, because it's so key to get against Maddie in that way. So with the roof being this way, no matter what the different balls this year, you still feel it's hard to get that tension point on your racket to get that depth?
Yeah, I don't like it. I like it when it's faster and it's hot and the ball's kind of skidding through the court. I hit pretty flat. I'm able to change the direction and kind of get the ball to skid on people. But when it's kind of sitting up and I can't feel like I can hit through the court, and then my ball's landing too short and my serve's not going through the court, it gets really difficult. And so that's something I'm going to have to figure out, because it's been a couple times now where I felt like that. At Wimbledon, the roof closed. It got heavy against Marquetta. Australia against Vika got really heavy. And I felt kind of similar in all those situations. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out, because now that I'm playing, on these bigger courts and there's roofs, and everything seems to kind of be slowing down a little bit in general with the balls and the courts and the conditions. I'm going to obviously have to figure that out. But the depth wasn't there, and she was able to really step in and play really aggressive.
Okay. In the back, Dan.
Yeah, hey, Dan Walken from USA Today. Jess, Marquetta was in here earlier, and she pulled out of the double. She attributed arm injury to the balls and the heaviness of the balls. There's a lot made about the change this year. Do you think from a Players' Council perspective that'll be revisited, or kind of what do you think the overview on that is so far?
Yeah, I think it's being revisited right now, because I believe the U.S. Open puts in their order next year before the end of the tournament. So like last year when we decided to trial it, the decision was made, I think, during the second week. So we're talking about that now. And I think obviously the players' health is the most important. So that's definitely something we're going to look at. And it's hard when you're trialing and you only have a couple weeks, and it's not a lot of time for people to adapt and get used to. But I personally, I don't know, I joke with the council because I feel like I don't like any of the balls. So I just kind of like took myself out of it and was like, guys, I don't know. I hate all the balls. So no, but it's something we're going to have to look at. And it's something we'll, not just us, but we look at everybody. I think we did a survey for the whole tour. So it's not like we're just making that decision. It's based off of what the players, are leaning towards. But player health is probably the main priority there.
Okay. Howard.
Following up on that, would it be crazy to use the same balls at least by surface over the course of a season?
The ball issue is so elaborate. Like, we also learned too last year that sometimes they can come from different manufacturers. Sometimes they're made differently. In Cincinnati, they didn't use a typical hard court. They used a different surface, which was like skinning the balls to going really, really small. In Montreal, this was extra. They're all extra duty. They were fluffing up like this in like 2 minutes. So we don't really. there's so many elements. They play so different based on the conditions, the court surface, where they're coming from, what country you're in, who's playing with them. Like, it literally is all over the place. I think what we just want is something more consistent. So hopefully we can get there. I don't know. It just, again, it's such a complicated, annoying topic. The amount of time we spend talking about the balls is insane, but there's just so many elements. And then of course, tournaments that want sponsors and they get paid more money to use those balls. That's what they're going to use because that's, how they're going to make money. So there's a lot of elements that go into it. But I think the majority of us just would like to see more consistent balls, not switching from week to week where you're in different conditions and using different types of balls. So just something that's more consistent, I think, is where we're just trying to start on.
Okay, Court.
Just a tough one today, but obviously new number one next Monday with Arena and Iga, and I'm curious as someone who's been elbowing alongside them for the last 2 years, what you make of kind of the switch of Iga's tenure up top and Sabalenka taking over.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Actually, Coco and I talked about it in doubles. We're like, it's kind of weird because, Iga still made second week. She's still been going deep in every tournament and doing well, and it wasn't enough to keep her there, and that's crazy. It just shows you how well, Coco was like, I don't know what more she could have done, and I was like, I guess win the tournament again, just that's it. But it's hard when, Irina's had such big consistent results in all the slams and a lot of the big tournaments. So, I think it's well deserved though. I think she's been knocking on the door, for quite a while. So it's nice to see that change and see her get rewarded for how well she's been playing and her consistency, especially in the slams.
David Law from the BBC. You referenced the conditions and how you'll need to reflect on them given the 3 occasions you've had where they've worked against you. And obviously nobody wants to break the ceiling of the quarterfinals more than you. I just wonder whether, now that the Grand Slam season in singles is over for you, whether you'll reflect on it and plan differently than maybe you have in the past, or whether you feel this is the level that you are going to be putting out there, and sometimes you're just going to run into a Madison Keys hitting like that. Is there more that you feel you can do?
Well, I think the condition things is I'm always looking and keeping some door open for not changes, but ways to improve and to get better. So that's something, whether it's, my racket tension or the strings that I'm using or just a different mindset. I don't know what it is. For the conditions, I'm always going to be thinking about that. But at the same time, sometimes you do just run into a Maddie Keys, and we all know, I feel like, again, she doesn't get enough credit. She's a great player. She's a slam finalist, multiple times semifinalist. She's probably I think, bigger hitter on tour than a Sabalenka or an Iga or even a Rybakina. She's right there, if not more powerful. And she's been playing great this year. So she's hot. She could for sure win the tournament. And I think, I don't know, I feel like that gets lost. I feel like people kind of forgot about her, but she's still really good. But there are days like that. So I think it's a combination where, she played great and there's nothing you can do. And then there's also room to always improve and try to get better. So I always have that window open of making little changes and adjustments, but nothing major, but just, little by little. I think you have to if you want to stay at the top.
Hi, Jessica. Matt Roberts, Tennis Podcast. Just kind of picking up on that in terms of ways to keep improving. I know you've talked a lot about how much you think your doubles has helped your singles and your sort of mindset in tournaments. I'm just wondering, I think you've played over 100 matches this year across singles and doubles. We've not seen that many players win slams in singles who are also playing that many doubles matches. Is that something that you think you might reconsider at one point in your career, or do you think you're just going to keep up all the doubles?
I don't know. Everyone asks me this question. It's like, I want to do well in both. Sometimes it'd be great to conserve energy based on the schedule, but the scheduling's been okay this week, so I felt okay. I like to keep playing and keep winning. It's hard to say. I could have pulled out of doubles and still got my ass kicked today, and it wouldn't have made a difference. I don't really think me yesterday, even playing mixed, I was going to see how today went, whether I'd stay in mixed, but like me going out and playing an hour and a half of mixed was not the reason like I had like 20 something unforced errors today. Like it's just not. But I understand like the thought process of trying to focus on singles, but I mean, I don't know. That's just, I guess I just make a decision on what I want to do and I stick to it. And that's my deciding factor. And I guess some people maybe see the other way, but I see a lot of benefits as well. And I think it's made me a lot better player. So I think it just depends on my energy levels. Obviously mix is only at slams and, you know, I didn't play Wimbledon. But it was something here just to keep in the draw, and you never know what could happen. In doubles, yeah, I mean, maybe we want to win slams though, which is the thing, and I think we want to do well at the Olympics next year. So, I mean, yeah, it depends on how we're doing in singles. You know, if we're both going deep and we've had really long days and we're like, okay, this isn't worth it, then we can pull out. But at the same time, we maybe would like to play less in other events if that's ideal, which we did kind of this summer. But then, you know, the slams, you want to win the slams too. So it's a tough, I don't know. We go back and forth, but I think it's very week to week and depending on how we feel.
All right, last question.
Also, I think, were you guys
sorry.
the ones that tweeted that I cried when I walked off the court? Weren't you guys the tennis podcast?
Yeah,
Oh.
we don't do our tweets, but
Oh, okay. Someone said I walked off the court in tears. I most definitely was not crying. I'm pretty sure that was from you guys, but I don't know if you tweeted it exactly, but I definitely wasn't crying. So
Wasn't me.
it just sounded really sad, and I was like, I definitely wasn't crying. I just got waxed in like an hour. Like I gotta go play dubs in an hour. I was like, okay. Anyways,
Last question, Andrew.
Yeah, you definitely wasn't crying, but
no, thanks.
with how her defense, so we know she hits the ball great, but her adding a little bit more to her defense in the drop shots she hits, you talk about that's the best version you're seeing of her, and how you played in doubles today with Coco. You was able to get another good win against a
Yeah.
good team. You and Austin now have
Yeah.
a fine partnership where
Yes.
he's bringing it up.
Yeah.
So your assessment on how you playing in doubles as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Maddie has added some other elements to her game, which I think is, I'm laughing because sometimes when I practice with her and she tries them and like, we all know that's not her game, but she is adding stuff in and she hit some good slices and some drop shots. I don't know if they're drop shots. They're kind of like, she saw this, she would laugh. They're kind of like, this short slice thing. But yeah, I think she's been trying to add stuff in and I can definitely see that. And her defense was good today. And definitely won her some points and surprised me a little bit. And yeah, going into doubles, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we still want to do well in the tournament if we can. And it's just another chance. And I'm a competitive person. I'm here entering the events because I want to win them, not just for the hell of it. So hopefully we can go out there and whether it's with Coco or Austin, we can keep the momentum going. It's been fun.